Her name is Catherine, and she's a Filipina from Iloilo City, Philippines. It's her third year in college, and she's studying to be a nurse. And her hobby was chatting in the then popular the Yahoo chat rooms. So one day, she struck up a conversation with this one particular guy. So his name is Robin, okay? So he's a Canadian. He's from Vancouver, Canada. He was 33 and she was 22. So for the Philippines, that's a very decent age gap. Now, what was it about Robin that Catherine really liked? I mean, she was talking to other guys on this Yahoo thing, but nothing really stuck like it did with Robin. Catherine could not get this guy, Robin, out of her freaking mind. So why did Robin stand out? What was the difference from Robin compared to the other guys that she'd talked to in the past? The first thing was Robin, he was very respectful and professional. He was very sweet. And the two of them, they just clicked immediately. And as time went by, Catherine just started falling in love with the guy. The two of them were chatting every single day. I mean, Monday to Friday. They did not chat on the weekends. There was no chatting on the weekends. And the reason was that, Robin, he said he can only chat when he's at the office. So he can only chat Monday to Friday. It's kind of weird, right? I mean, Catherine, she knew this was weird. Like, why is it that he can't chat when he's at home? So Catherine asked him for a reason, and he gave the reason. And his reasons, they were a bit on the weak side. But, because Catherine loved the guy so much, and her love kept growing, and she could really feel the love she had for Robin. She was kind of okay just not knowing the truth. It was a wife, it was a girlfriend, it was whatever the reason was. As long as Catherine could talk to Robin every day, I mean, that's what made her happy. Then as time went by, she felt like, the excitement was kind of wearing off. Like he was kind of giving up on the relationship here. Catherine felt like she was kind of a burden to Robin. She still loved him, but she felt like Robin did not love her. It was getting hard for Robin to make time for her. So after a while, she became depressed. So Catherine asked Robin, to be honest, why are you not talking to me much these days, she says. Why are you not replying as quickly as you once did before? Was it because, we're far away? Was it because we're not doing the deed? We're not doing S, if you know what I'm saying? I mean, the guy's, he's a man, he requires something more physical. But Robin, he replied, no. He said, no, that's not it at all. So she asked, what is it? What is it? Just please, Robin, just come to the Phils and I'll give you anything you want. I promise. Whatever you want, I will do it for you, Robin. So after this little talk, the conversation, they began going well between the two. Like who'd have known, tempting a man with S would work so well. I guess Robin saw how much Catherine really cared for him. And she kind of used S as a way to get his attention back. But, months went by and it seemed like he was getting ready to come to the Phil. So this is a good move. The conversation was kind of hinting of it going that way. I mean, maybe he really understood better that Catherine really did love him. So she waited every day for about 2 years, but Robin, he just never came. The long distance relationship, it had its ups and downs, exciting moments, dull moments. But Robin, I mean, he just never got on that airplane. Almost 2 years of an LDR or long-distance relationship had passed. By this time, Catherine had graduated nursing school and she was offered a job in Dubai to work as a nurse. And at this time, the relationship with Robin is still going on. So she told Robin about Dubai. And he said, well, what about us? What about you and me? And Catherine said, we could still talk the same like we've been doing. If you come, you can just visit me in Dubai instead of the Philippines. So now it's 2.5 years of an LDR. And Catherine, at this time, it's May, 2011, she arrives in Dubai. And Robin and her, they're still chatting, still doing the LDR thing. But there are times when the conversation, it felt like it is a little bit on the cold side. A few months after arriving in Dubai, the relationship had ended. Robin said, he said, I just can't do this anymore. And, it was the blah, blah, blah. He had so many reasons. He had so many reasons why he couldn't come. I mean, it was off and on. And, he was excited to make plans to see Catherine. Then it just never came to be. He never actually booked the ticket. He talked about booking a ticket, but it never happened. How many times did he say he's going to book a ticket? So it was just on and off like this. He just kept giving her false hope. He did it so many times. Catherine had been holding back from the obvious. And the obvious was that, she was just never going to see him. But there came a time when it seemed like she had enough, that was it. She can't do this anymore. Catherine said, I can't keep doing this. I need to let him go. And, she was really devastated because she knew in her heart, Robin was her only true love. As she said, I can't feel this way about another guy. I can't even meet a guy. There's no way I could ever meet a guy like Robin ever again. And the two, they did stop talking. And it was sad. And that sadness, it just never left Catherine. And the time went by. The years went by. 2012 finished, 2013, 2014, 2015. She's still single and alone in Dubai. Robin was still on her mind, but not so much. I mean, as the years went by, she thought of him less and less. But then she met a Filipino guy. He was a cook at a restaurant that Catherine frequented. So Catherine, she was a regular there at this restaurant in Dubai. He and Catherine, they would kind of flirt, they'd make eye contact sometimes, smile, just flirting. Catherine, she didn't think too much of it. I mean, Catherine was usually with someone and he was busy in the kitchen. So, it didn't amount to anything. But one day, Catherine entered this restaurant by herself and she was eating at a small table. And this flirting cook, he happened to be on his break and he sat down at her table, introduced himself, and the two began chatting. It was good to talk to a man, she said. I mean, hey, I'd been single forever, it felt like. I was a little desperate for some man chow, if you get my drift. But it was kind of like, I like you and you like me, so we decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend. If for no other reason, just for some company. I mean, he was a nice guy. He was good looking, or guapo as they say in the Philippines. He was good enough to be my boyfriend, she said. But then, believe it or not, in December of that year, not long after they met, she got pregnant. Catherine is pregnant. She's got a bun in the oven. I mean, hey, they are Filipino. They just have to think about the deed and they get pregnant. Not in reality. But it's kind of an old wives' tale. So the two met in September 2015 and she was pregnant by December. And Catherine said, I met this guapo guy and I had years of needs to make up for. So anyway, folks, she was pregnant. So anyway, Catherine says, I told my Filipino boyfriend I have to go back to the Philippines before my belly shows. If the Dubai authorities found out that, I was pregnant out of wedlock, I'd be in jail. In the Phils, we have a term called the Filipino skedaddle. It means the guy takes off after his girlfriend has a bun in the oven. So Catherine told him, okay? So Catherine says, it's up to you. If you will abandon me and the child, that's okay. Don't worry about it, and hey, Catherine says, I got a good job. I got a good family. I am an independent woman. Hell, I even make more money than him. So fortunately, I can raise this baby by myself. She was 2 months pregnant and she was on the airplane out of there, folks. She went back to Iloilo to have her baby. She said, I wanted to be around my family at this time. So I stayed with my family in the house that I was born and raised in with my parents and my 2 sisters. They took care of me during my remaining 7 months of pregnancy. the baby was born. She had a daughter. Now she had a baby girl. And Catherine stayed with the family for the following year, after the baby was born. Because, as she said, I wanted to breastfeed my baby. I mean, a newborn baby needs her mother. But then after a few months passed, what happened? The Filipino guy came from Dubai to see his daughter. Like, coincidentally, Iloilo was his hometown. Well, nearby Iloilo. So he came down from Dubai and he stayed with his parents during his trip home. And the two, they spent a month getting reacquainted. And he got to know his newly born daughter, and at the end of the month, he asked Catherine to marry him. Catherine, she was honestly not expecting that. But anyways, she was down. Why not? This is the father of her child, and it was a hurried civil ceremony. The two didn't have much time because the guy had to get back to Dubai. In November, Catherine was also on the plane back to Dubai to be a nurse. Just went right back to her old job. She left her daughter with her family in Iloilo. She hired her auntie to take care of the baby during the day, as the mom worked and the father was sick at the time, so he couldn't take care of the baby. And the two sisters, they also worked. So the baby was in safe hands as Catherine went back to work in Dubai. So at this point, this is now 10 years of no contact with Robin. And, she was browsing Google and she saw the word Skype just randomly there on the screen. And suddenly she remembered Robin. And she was thinking, like, what if I just check if he's still on Skype? I could just say hello to an old friend. I mean, after Yahoo Messenger went offline, the two began talking on Skype. But all I was thinking was, I want to message him and see if he's really going to reply. Just out of curiosity. See what he's up to. I just wanted to know, what's happening in his life. Like, obviously, I'm not interested in getting back with Robin. He and I are just old friends, if that, by this point. Maybe he got a family of his own now, just like me. I was just curious to know what's happening in Robin's life. So I got into my old Skype account and messaged him. I said, "Hey, Robin, do you remember me? It's Catherine from 10 years ago. How you doing? It's been a long time." And, to my surprise, he replied instantly. He replied right away. He said, "Of course I remember you. How are you doing, Catherine?" We had a long chat that day, just typing, of course. We got to talking as if we were the same back, like a decade ago. Like nothing had changed. Imagine, 10 years went by with no communication. Suddenly we talk again and it was like old times. It felt so good to talk to Robin again. It kind of felt like home. And then suddenly he sent me some photos of mine. Photos that I had sent him like 10 years ago. We were talking about the photos and, I swear to God, my tears were falling when I saw them. I don't know why. I guess they just brought back old memories. I mean, I could remember the moment I sent those photos to Robin a decade ago. I said to Robin, like, "Why are you sending me these photos?" He told me, Robin says, "I never stopped loving you. I never got you out of my mind. I still want to see you." And Catherine said, "I'm married now. I married a few years ago." She was curiously how he'd respond to that. And he said, Robin just said very directly, "Well then, I'll go to Dubai and take off your wedding ring." Catherine was like, I didn't know what to say. That time, like, God, really? I was just staring at his message. And I said, "Tell me the truth, Robin. What the hell is happening? What was happening before? Why did you never meet me?" And the confession came, everything. Robin explained why he couldn't see Catherine in the Philippines all that time ago. He said, "When we started chatting, I was living with a woman, okay? I joined this Filipina dating site because, I wanted some excitement. My friend visited the Philippines earlier and he got me excited about meeting a Filipina, but I just couldn't go because I was living with this woman. And we are still together today. Mainly, we are together because, of her two daughters, and I love them as my own kids. That was the big secret, okay? That was the big secret that he hid from Catherine before. So Catherine said, I knew there was something going on. I just played stupid because I was so in love with you. But imagine all that history, and we never met in person. Imagine that. So Robin and Catherine, they stopped all communication again, and for the final time. And it was good that, Robin finally admitted the truth. It helped Catherine to get past it. My husband and I are still living together in Dubai. He's still a cook, and I'm still a nurse. One time I told him about Robin. He wasn't interested to hear about it. He said, it's the past. Never mind it. Just forget it. She said, her husband is a good guy. The two of them have no problems. We just get along well. Our future plans are to keep working in Dubai. We plan to visit Phil's every year or two, and not a day goes by that we don't video chat with our daughter. And I really miss my daughter. I always miss her. Every single day I miss her. Sometimes I consider even being a nurse in the Philippines, just so I can hold my baby every day. But today, still no plans to settle down and live permanently in the Philippines. The money there in Dubai, it's good. And if I stay, I get regular raises in my salary, and my job is just fine. I have no complaints, and my husband is the same way. And everything, and everything we make, all our money goes to bettering our daughter's life. So it's a sacrifice for the meantime. The sacrifice being we can't see our daughter. But obviously, my days in Dubai will come to an end. So, I must be with my daughter at some point. We can't do this video chatting thing forever. But regarding Robin, sometimes I ask myself, what the hell happened with him? What were all those years? Was he just a dream? To this day, I still think about him. Robin was really the love of my life. But was it love? Or was it like an imaginary feeling I made up? Like some fantasy in my mind, imagining how it should have been. Robin was a different kind of love. It cannot be replicated. But sometimes I ask myself, will the pain or this feeling I have for him ever go away? I know I'm married today, and, my husband and I met. I got pregnant quickly. If he left me, then he left me. But, he's a good guy. We married, we love our daughter, and I love him. Who can really explain feelings? I hate to admit that Robin is still in my thoughts. Not like before, of course. I've got a family now, and it sounds bad to someone looking at this from the outside, but as much as I hate to admit it, I'll probably always love Robin. Catherine is retired in Iloilo City. Her daughter is now married. She's got a family of her own, so Catherine is now a grandmother. And she lives with her daughter's family, as Filipinos love to do. But her husband, unfortunately, he is gone. But what does Catherine do with her time? Well, she enjoys her family. She takes care of her grandkids. And Catherine often goes to a park to sit down by herself, and she reminisces about her life. And hello, do you remember me? I do. Mama, wake up. It's time for church.